6 games. I guess we'll just do them in the order that they'll be played. Carolina will rematch against the LA Rams. They'll be at home. This will be on Saturday, 4 p.m., 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central game. Carolina actually beat them early in the season. If you remember, about 6 or 7 weeks ago, the Rams come off that big win over Tampa when we thought Tampa was good and going to run off with the South. And Carolina, on a short week, got humiliated by San Francisco on Monday Night Football. My opinion of that is the Rams went in there. It was an early start time. They simply went in there overconfident. Stafford threw some interceptions. Bryce Young got hot. Rarely, but he did. That T-Mac is a great pickup, by the way. Great draft pick to Terrell McMillan. So that's what happened in that particular game. Now they have Devontae Adams did play in this game. We have a fresh Devontae Adams, who's an older player. The Rams looked pretty sharp last week. They got off their losing streak, and they're 10.5-point favorites in this particular game. I think they come ready and focused in this particular game, and I think they win 31-24. The Rams will move on to the next round. It'll be an interesting game, but the Rams will move. I'm not sure if they cover that 10.5 on the road. They might. What's your thoughts about Carolina hosting the LA Rams? Any shot for an upset there? And
I feel like this might be the upset of the season. Wow. And I say it because everybody talks about the Rams offense, but nobody talks about the Carolina Panthers. Young, quick, fast. Secondary. Right.
They got a pick. I think they got a pick 6 in the other game.
They have given all these teams who have top-rated quarterbacks fits.
Yeah.
And they have 2 guys in the front that don't get as much recognition as they should. So this defense, I'm not saying it's the best defense in the NFL, but they're in games for a reason. And I feel like Stafford, if he don't go and if they don't go and blow out the Panthers in the first 2 quarters, this game is over for the Rams, because the Panthers they was like the Pittsburgh Steelers in that game. How they did with Tampa Bay. They was just stretching them out.
Yeah.
Third and long. They're gonna do that to the San Francisco. They're gonna do this and to this Rams team.
Okay.
And if the Rams don't play their game and they don't blow these little kids out of the water, they're gonna get overwhelmed, man. This secondary is not to be fooled.
What's gonna happen in the game, Chief?
I feel like I'm gonna call my point score. It's gonna be 27-24.
Who's gonna win?
I feel like the Panthers might get this one.
Are you going to predict are you calling for the Panthers to upset them?
Yeah, I think so. Because
you're calling for the upset.
Yeah, because so Devontae's back, but we don't know to what how healthy it is. They're gonna
let me talk you out of it. I'll take that win. You was getting close on me. If you calling for the Panthers they're at home. You never know. They did beat the Rams earlier this year. They've got an advantage to the audiences. Their receivers, I think the other guy's Coker. Well, you know about T-Mac.
Right.
They got 2 They have an advantage against the cornerbacks for the LA Rams. That's the weakest link.
And they got 2 running backs. Robert, they got 2 running backs. They don't got 1. They got 2 dingers.
Chubb was pretty good, but I really like the year that Rico Dowd's had. Particularly.
And he hasn't gone off in 2 games.
Yeah.
So he's due for a good game.
Yeah. But also the Rams do have Tyler Higbee back. And that Colby Parkinson's pretty good. These came out of nowhere. That little tight end they got.
I feel like what I said to you is giving you second thoughts about picking the
No, I picked the Rams straight up. I was just double checking to make sure you're not trying to play word games with me. You're saying the Panthers are going to win 27-24.
Yeah, and I feel like Stafford's going to get hit once or twice.
I'll replay it for the audience, and it'll get a lot of views if that's I'll click it. It's good for the program.
Yeah, there has to be an upset that's like this team is young and they don't care, man. When you're young, you just play to play. You don't have no memory.
You're saying that they're going to play loose.
They're gonna play loose and they're gonna have fun, and they're gonna play for this quarterback. I ain't never seen this defense.
In the last play for him, I just think that he's so limited, man.
I know that's another thing. Yeah. These guys are like, we have to. This team gives the Panthers the opportunities to kick field goals at close range and have short field advantages. And one of the problems that the Rams have had in the past is that they play down to the teams that they play to instead of play up.
There's no way they do that in the playoffs. But hey, you pick the Panthers. Don't let me talk you out of it.
I'm not. No, I'm good.
The Rams, 7 o'clock. This is going to be a really good game. This game gave me headaches today when I'm coming home and I'm sitting there thinking about this game. I'm analyzing every single player on both injury reports. Is the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears, the rematch. We talked about it last night with Fred, neighbor Roy's brother. But the Packers are healthy now. Now I have Michael back, but they're going to have Jordan Love back. LaFleur gave pretty much everybody the week off last week, including Josh Jacobs. Jacobs said, "I feel as good as I've been 6 weeks ago." So that's the running back for Green Bay. I don't know if you remember that last game on Saturday on December 21st, the Saturday before Christmas when they played. Malik Willis was in the game. Love got knocked out of the game. Yeah. Malik Willis comes in, and they had to get an onside kick, the Bears did, to win this game. They got it. Lucky for them. But all these guys are back and healthy for the most part. Now, I'm talking about the Packers. Now, the Bears will have Rome Odunze back, who didn't play in neither game. So that's huge. That's a true number one receiver and one of the favorites. So they've got Luther Burden, Colston Loveman, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore. They got several targets there for Caleb Williams to throw to. I just don't think he can get them all the ball. On the flip side, you've got Christian Watson, you've got Josh Jacobs, you got Musgrove, you've got Golden, you got Wicks, they've got Romeo Dobbs. They've got some targets too there for this Green Bay Packer team. My thing is, I do think that the Packers, being this fresh, they're going to come back, revamp. They're actually, again, like I said, a 1.5 favorite on the road. I think they win this thing. Packers control the time of possession and the ball. 24-19 Pack win on the road at Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. It's a very hard game for me to call. There's some injuries there in the secondary of the Bears, but they're in pretty good shape. But they did lose last week to the Lions there. So, and they're on the 2-game losing streak themselves. The Packers on the 4-game losing streak, but the Packers are rested and rejuvenated. I like the Packers 24-19. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I think this game is going to be Chicago all the way. I think that
okay.
I'm not a big fan of Love. I'm not a big fan of LaFleur. I don't. They're too passive. They play in the game. They just play to they don't have a good flow. Even when Love wasn't in and they have Malik Willis, he really didn't maximize Malik Willis's potential in anything that he did. And I just feel like Chicago is the better team. They have guys that want the rock. Caleb Williams doesn't make too many mistakes. And that Packer defense isn't the same defense that we saw 4 or 5 games ago. So I'm not saying that they don't have players, but that's just saying because they've lost 4 games in a row. Where are they going to get the confidence to play this game?
Yeah.
About that. Like, you coming off of 4 losses, where are you going to get confidence?
They lost a player mid-game, and that was that Denver game. A lot of fluke plays in that Denver game. Then the next game, they lost Jordan Love,
right? And
then they played the Ravens without Jordan Love. You see what I'm saying? And then last week they benched everybody, so it's explainable.
No, I mean, but we talked about this about having a quarterback that should be a second string quarterback. I feel, and I've always said that Jordan Love is more of a backup than he is a starter. So you're going to see the difference in the playmaking right off the bat because a guy who likes to win and knows how to win, someone like Caleb Williams, is going to turn it up another notch.
What's the score then?
I think it's going to be Chicago 32, the Packers 27.
30. Oh, you said it was going to be a blowout. That's only a 5-point game.
Yeah, no. I'm not, it's still a playoff game, but it's gonna
look like it's going to be 32-10.
No. The Packers will score because the Packers have Josh Jacobs. He's going to get over 100 yards, but he can't be the one carrying the team this game. This game is literally on Love's shoulders, and he doesn't have the capacity to take this game. And
don't have the shoulders. Okay, I got you. Okay, Buffalo will be playing down in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been red hot. Buffalo also gave Josh Allen the week off. James Cook, the running back there, he only had 2 carries. I wouldn't even gave him 2 carries last week, but he only had 2 carries, so he's going to be fresh there. But Jacksonville, number 1 rush defense. Now, overall defense, Houston, a fellow division team there, has all the defensive stats except for run defense. Jacksonville, very good run defense. This game will be played down in Jacksonville. I did make a note that their left tackle, this Cole Van Layman guy, hasn't practiced today, and today's Thursday. That is a little concerning for the Jaguars right there. But I look at a team like Buffalo, who normally at this time of year, they seem to have a flood of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They seem to have 2 or 3 linebackers out. This year they don't. Matt Milano, healthy, very good. Now they've got Joey Bosa. This is what they brought Joey Bosa in for. He didn't play last week. He's going to be playing. This is a big pressurized game for Buffalo. Buffalo did beat Jacksonville last year. Now it's 47-10. That was with a different coach and everything. Different scenario. This is down in Jacksonville. This was a hard game to pick. I don't know why Buffalo's a 1.5-point favorite playing on the road, but I think they do go down there and pull it off. Jacksonville, they're 20th in run offense. They don't have the best running game, so they can't take advantage of that Buffalo run defense. But the Bills, this is the biggest game of the week, and they're putting it on 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central on Sunday. I can't wait. 27-23, Bills win a close one. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Jacksonville over the Buffalo Bills. This is the worst team that Allen has had on defense and offense. Statistics wise, yeah. And it's he's going to have to carry this team. He's got more yards than his running back, which is sometimes.
Well, he does not this year. I know that's not true. I know Cook's got more rushing yards. And, I don't know if it'll matter because this is a number 1 run defense. So
right, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like these young Jags, there's something different about them this year. They need to stay away from trying to come back to win the game. They need to just move forward and get points. And I feel like they'll be able to do that. This game's going to be really close. It's going to be, a lot of penalties and stuff because Buffalo's good at that. And I think it's going to be 24-21. The Jags win by a field goal.
Okay. I wanted to let the audience know this. A little bit of a bold statement, but not really. The winner of this game, I do think, will get to the Super Bowl from the AFC. Yeah. Yeah. Judging by the way Jacksonville played up in Denver, judging by Buffalo's comeback against New England, I do think, Allen's looking at this like, man, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, no Patrick.
He can't do nothing. He don't play the game himself. That's a problem.
And I look at
their defense is so weak this year.
And their pass rush, I do think that, by the way, here's another fact for you. They got the best pass defense in the NFL. I don't know why they're running. I don't say this. Jacksonville could win. Jacksonville probably should be favored. Sean McDermott will be fired. If I'm the owner, if they lose this game, it's on McDermott, and I'm calling Bill Belichick. I know he said he don't want to come back to the NFL, and I'm going to say, hey, listen, you and Brian DeBall would be great up here. The Lombardi Trophy's waiting on you, Bill.
No, man, that team will again. I keep saying it.
They're just a different ownership up there. They're not very aggressive. You know,
it's a tough team, tough location to play in. Listen, I've said this already, and I keep saying this. Joe Burrow and Allen will never win the Super Bowl on those teams that they're on. They just won't.
Well, that could be very well the truth. Burrow may try to push himself out of town next year, and Allen's
going to stick it out. Unfortunately,
if they hire McDermott and they lose, I think they'll probably get to the Super Bowl. But they were my preseason pick. Who knows? I'm not in love with McDermott. They should have tightened that defense up. They should have made a trade at the trade deadline to tighten that. Then they didn't do that. But there's a chance they can get Ed Oliver back too if they get past this round.
Ed Oliver, that's who you hanging your.
He's helping your run defense, man. They're very close in some spots. They can use another playmaker at receiver, but other than that, offensive line, pass defense, run game. They're the best running team in the league. They finally got the memo when I sent them that memo. They need to run the ball, and it doesn't need to be Josh Allen. Okay, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern, Sunday. San Francisco travels to Philadelphia. It's a 4.5-point spread. I just read this today, folks. Here's a little bit of hope that may keep this game interesting. May, in air quotes. Trent Williams looked pretty good today practicing. That's the left tackle for the 49ers. We just talked about how these guys are they look like those other backup tackles. I think his name was Fezzik. I mean, those pass rushers for the Seahawks are just running past these guys like they wasn't there, you know? He looked pretty good. I saw some film of him limited practice. I think Trent Williams will play, but the Eagles, they also rested their starters. I like fresh legs there. The Eagles probably got, even though statistically they don't have the best defense, I think player for player, talent, front, middle, and back, they may probably still got the best defense. Front, middle, back, cornerback, player for player, depth. And I just got a feeling their defense is going to hold them in this game. And I don't know if Trent Williams may retweak that hamstring. Okay, it's a hamstring. That could be catchy, you know. So I'm just not going to take that chance. I think Saquon Barkley has a big day. I think all those defensive injuries, they should be, even though they're not the best coach team, I think A.J. Brown should be able to get open and make some plays for the Eagles, you know. 2014, Trent Williams makes this game interesting. I'm not in love with it, but I do think the Eagles win. And I hope I'm wrong because I picked the 49ers in the preseason to get the Super Bowl. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, it's time for the Eagles to run the ball, control the game.
Yeah.
And their defense is good enough to stop Purdy and the hurting offense that they have. I don't think the 49ers will score more than 24 points. So I think that this game the Eagles are going to win 28-21.
Okay, so you're picking Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles. We agreed on that one. I didn't know. You look like you may go with the Niners. That's okay.
No,
I hope you're right.
49ers, they did a good job getting to where they're getting. A lot of kudos to them. They're one of the most unbalanced teams that were able to play next man up and show the NFL that you can win games with guys that come off of your bench and come off of your practice squads. So it's possible. You just gotta, at the end of the day, you just gotta play the game.
Talking about the 49ers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's not gonna get them to the Super Bowl. So
no, I'll say this. Like I said, Trent Williams, if he plays the whole game. That Robert Saleh, by the way, he's supposed to interview for the Titans. I don't know if I want to coach the Titans as a head coach, but he's done a good job holding the Seahawks to 13 points. That if you keep that number in mind, and the fact that the Eagles have 2 or 3 drives where they don't even get a first down, they're just like so vanilla sometimes. If they let the 49ers hang in here,
right,
13-10 late, and the Niners got the ball late. If I'm the Eagles fans, if I'm Jamie, I'm a little nervous Because the last time they played, the 49ers went up there and beat the crap out of them. Now, of course, they're fully healthy then, and they had Joey Bosa, Fred Warner, and all that. Defensive, that's a different story.
I mean, anyway, is Fred Warner going to play this game?
There's a possibility he could play in the next few weeks. He's running around. He's not going to be activated. But if they get past this game, that could be interesting because when Purdy has time, they were the hottest offense for about 3 or 4 weeks there, man. They weren't even punting the football. That's why I'm so surprised by Seattle's defense played that well. Holding on to a field goal last week. I will say this next game, man, and the audience, this is a very, very close second to being the best game of the week. I think Jacksonville-Buffalo will be the best game. But the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Vrabel, 2 competitive SOBs going at it, Sunday Night Football in Foxborough, Massachusetts there. With probably Drake May, probably the way he finished, wins the MVP this year. And by the way, they'll have Will Campbell, the left tackle, back for the New England Patriots. Here's one thing I'm a little concerned about. They've had some other linemen, offensive linemen, that got sick this week and they haven't practiced. My guess is they probably got some kind of flu bug or something, and Vrabel's going to isolate them and bring them in later on probably Saturday, IV them up Sunday night, and let them get out there and rock and roll. Vrabel hugs every single player when they come back in. They're not going to let Coach down. I think these guys will play. Meanwhile, Jim Harbaugh did rest his starters as well last week, and they almost beat Denver anyways. That was crazy. But Omarion Hamilton, he has not practiced this week. I think he's banged up. I don't know if he's going to play. That's our running back. But they still got this Vidal guy and whatnot. This is going to be an airtight game. I love this game. You know how competitive Jim Harbaugh is. Good to see him back in the playoffs. They're fresh, but they still have those 2 tackles out. And I'm still concerned about that. It's in Foxborough. I like the way Drake May's playing. I like that offense around him. They're just a little bit healthier. Last-minute kick, by the way. And Milton Williams is back. Also, he's got a few games under his belt for the Patriots at defensive tackle. 23-20 Patriots win, last-second field goal. Kind of like old times with Adam Vinatieri kicking for the Tom Brady-led Patriots. A lot of Patriot haters don't want to hear that. What's your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I haven't been big on the Patriots all year. They've been always proving me wrong, and if they can do it this year, fine. I'm not gonna, my heart won't hurt. I just think that even though they're a young team, and I always commend young teams for being quick, and you need to be young in the NFL to be competitive. This team is like one season too young.
Okay.
And I'm not knocking them in any way that saying that they can't win, because they should win this game. I haven't been a big fan of Harbaugh and what he's done with the Chargers either. I think that team's a little bit older, and they should have made some moves to be a little bit quicker.
Yeah,
so I think this game, I think the Patriots will probably win this game, and because it's a home game too, so they have the advantage.
Yeah.
As well, being a young team and a home team, that helps a lot. So it's probably gonna be a close game, man. I think this game, because it's a playoff game, the Chargers are gonna go in there and try to do things. So this game will probably be like 28-27, something crazy. You're gonna see
the Patriots, right?
Yeah, the Patriots. You're gonna see a safety for sure, because that defense is gonna ball out. So
excuse me. Yeah,
I feel they'll get a safety, maybe, or even a fumble recovery. So it's gonna be close though. It's gonna be a close game.
It'll be a fun game. I cannot wait. Monday night, this will be a pretty good game. You look at the Monday night record with Mike Tomlin. It's very good. They've had an extra day back to rest since last game they played. Sunday Night Football, they'll have DK Metcalf back. It is in Pittsburgh. However, they're playing against Houston, the number 1 points allowed defense, the number 1 yards allowed defense. And you saw the holes in that secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love Nico Collins, fresh Nico Collins. They got a guy named, I think his last name is Higgins. And they got a Hutchinson. These are two young wide receivers that are playing off of Nico Collins there. Sorry, Roy. I think now it's in Pittsburgh. Anything can happen. And the refs kind of let them get away with Bush League stuff. But though that big weak secondary, I think C.J. Stroud in year 3, he's relaxed enough. They come off and get the win. 24-20. Houston gets the road win. What's your thoughts about that game on Monday night? That's the last game.
There's going to be a regular old Pittsburgh type of game. Run the ball, try to run the clock out.
Yeah.
Both teams are going to play this. They're going to play like each other. They're going to feed off of each other in this game, and it's going to be long and drawn out. And one mistake's going to switch the whole game out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. If by Bush League you mean Stroud might not make it through the whole game, they at least have.
They'll get away with some late hits or whatever, and then the refs are not going to throw the flag.
Which might happen. And I will say this: if that does happen, the Texans have an upper hand because their backup is just as good as a starter.
Well, I don't know if Mills is good as Stroud, but he's not terrible.
Mills has a better relationship throwing the ball to Nico Collins.
Okay. I don't know if that's true, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm gonna tell you that, like, with what was it, 3 games or 2 games that Stroud missed, and Collins is going off with Mills. Mills has a nice touch to his throw.
Okay, so who you like in this game?
I think it's gonna be one of those drawn out games. 17, it's gonna be like 17-14, and Texas is gonna win.